No, this was wrong. I came to talk about Luke Skywalker. Leia put both her arms around him, returning his fire with her own. Would this be so bad? To let him continue? To save Luke? His hands moved on her. Oh, yes. Oh, no.
This is not someone's weird fanfiction. This is Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire. It's probably best known as a video game, but this was actually a multimedia project created by Lucasfilm in 1996. There was the game, a comic series, a role-playing game, trading cards, and the novel.
Delicious, amazing. She drank him in, enraptured by his touch. He pressed harder.
They also made a junior novelization for kids 8 to 12. They probably left a few things out.
I actually read this when I was about 12. I was not ready.
Shadows of the Empire takes place between episodes 5 and 6 and introduces Prince...
Xizor.
Prince Xizor runs a crime empire called Black Sun, has a strong rivalry with Darth Vader, and spends a good chunk of this book trying to seduce Princess Leia. Like, he's mostly trying to capture Luke Skywalker and, like, gain power with the Emperor, but also seduce Princess Leia. As you do.
So this is Princess Leia Organa. My, how interesting.
Return of the Jedi already had a thing with the gross slug man finding Leia attractive, and that was a thing that happened.
Oh.
But it really wasn't focused on that much. This level of sexuality does not feel right in Star Wars. If you look at this guy and think, I don't know that Princess Leia would be that interested, you would be wrong. Prince Xizor is actually the hottest guy in the galaxy. I mean, who could resist that skin, that hair, that spine?
She left and Xizor watched his bare stomach ridge under the hard stem contraction forming symmetrical and rounded rectangles. No fat coated those muscles.
A buddy of mine saw
Xizor.
take his shirt off in the shower and he said that
Xizor.
had an 8-pack.
Xizor.
Was shredded.
The book also says that his species is generally considered the most beautiful in the galaxy. Okay, sure.
He also exuded natural pheromones that made most of the human stock species feel instantly attracted to him, and his skin color, normally a dusky green, changed with the rise of these pheromones, shading from the cool to the warm spectrum. I feel like he could have a version of like getting a boner in class, except for the whole class is really into it.
He also has an assassin droid named Guri.
Guri was an HRD, a human replica droid, and unique. She could visually pass for a woman anywhere in the galaxy, could eat, drink, and perform all of the more personal functions of a woman without anybody the wiser.
Prince Xizor has a sexual relationship with his droid. You have to question a man who can seduce literally any female in the galaxy, and he chooses to bone a robot. That's like if Channing Tatum owned a fleshlight.
She was immune to jealousy as far as he'd been able to determine. Guri would stand by and hold the clothes of his mistress while Xizor had his way with her, apparently unaffected by what she saw.
The very first time that Xizor sees Princess Leia, he decides he wants to smash. I really love that throughout the entire book, Xizor and Darth Vader are like trying to manipulate each other, they're trying to one-up each other, it's this complex game of cat and mouse, and they're all both like trying to win more favor with the Emperor. And while that's going on, Xizor doesn't even know it, but he's also trying to bang Darth Vader's daughter.
The hollow projection of Leia shuddered and held, sharper as a single image than it was as a moving one. Perhaps he'd have this particular frame installed as a permanent holographic duplicate on one of his private chamber walls. It'd be better, perhaps, had she been nude.
Darth Vader doesn't even know that Leia's his daughter, but that's a power move. After Xizor first sees Leia, he stalks her for a bit, and then commands Guri to bring her to his palace for...
negotiations.
Aggressive negotiations, what's that?
Well. Xizor was, after all, a civilized being, not a reflexive thug. He would allow Princess Leia to find that out about him, just as he would allow her to find out more intimate things about him.
When Leia finally arrives at his palace with Chewie, her plan is to negotiate a deal between Black Sun and the rebels, but she gets distracted very quickly.
Leia's pulse speeded up yet more. She felt a sudden giddiness as if her brain had been fogged over. So here she was at last, facing the person in charge of the galaxy's largest criminal organization. That was strange enough all by itself, but to make it even more so, he was absolutely gorgeous. I swear, it says he was absolutely ... italics gorgeous.
Xizor proposes that they meet for dinner, and he says he's got a room prepared where she can freshen up.
Xizor favored her with his sexiest smile. She looked flustered. Yes, all right. We are a little tired.
Leia goes to a room, and Xizor is very confident that he's getting laid tonight.
Faline pheromones were more potent than the strongest spice. Leia might want to resist him with her mind, but her body would ache for him. There was no antidote, save one. Xizor smiled. He would enjoy administering the single antidote to Leia. He would enjoy it very much indeed. Now I know what Xizor calls his penis.
Meanwhile, Leia is very conflicted because she's in love with Han, but Xizor is not currently frozen in carbonite, so that's pretty appealing. The fact that she told Han that she loves him and he just said I know has the potential to make for a really interesting internal conflict. But this book is written so weird. Leia has this inner monologue and keeps calling herself sister, and I don't know if that's something that women just think to themselves often, but it really doesn't sound like Princess Leia at all.
Oh, really? You might not do anything about what you felt for him, sister, but you won't be able to forget it that easily. Shut up, she mentally told the little voice. I don't need this. Maybe not, sister, but you have it.
Leia takes a hot bath, her room is stocked with a bunch of extravagant dresses that all happen to be perfectly in her size. It's this whole billionaire type of fantasy, and Leia's just blown away by the wealth of this man, whose color changes when he gets turned on.
He took a deep breath, let it out, almost ready. The coldness was there, but soon the passion would be set free. It's actually a better name for it.
So Leia wears this sexy see-through dress with a bodysuit underneath, and Chewie is very concerned, but Leia tells him to just wait outside the room.
When the door to Xizor's sanctum opened, Leia almost gasped. The crime lord now wore a long, flowing robe done in shades of red that seemed to reflect that color onto his uncovered skin. The clothing could have been made by the same designer who had done her dress, and he wasn't wearing a bodysuit under it. He was big under the thin cloth, hard and muscular, and if there were any visible anatomical differences between him and basic stock humans, she couldn't see them.
This is an actual Star Wars book where Princess Leia checks out an alien's penis. Sure, he basically showed up for dinner in gray sweatpants, but this used to be canon. The entire scene reads like an awkward fanfiction, and it's so difficult to believe that this was actually official. This was real.
When he rounded the couch to bring her the tea, his hip brushed against the back of her head. It sent a shock through her, a rush that was kin to dropping in free fall, a stomach full of moths kind of sensation. Whoa! That good... Give me some good hip! And what would Xizor's hand feel like against her bare skin? Girl, I don't think you want to go near those nails. Excuse me, sister. Leia found herself responding to the kiss, returning it. She broke away. No, this isn't right. He moved his mouth from hers and put his lips on her neck, slid down her shoulder. The dress's strap fell off on that side. Not just to save Luke, to enjoy this to the fullest. Xizor pressed his lips against Leia's bare shoulder and felt her shudder with pleasure. He had her now. She was his. If not in mind and spirit, then certainly her body belonged to him. He was a little disappointed in how easy it had been. Oh well. He reached for the closure of her dress. There came a pounding at the door. What? Who dared?
Chewie saves the day by interrupting and getting her away from Xizor's pheromones. He manages to convince her that Xizor might actually be evil? Chewie goes to disable the security, and Leia tries to buy them some time.
He bent to kiss her. She slammed her knee up between his legs. Hard. Is that a description of the knee, or Xizor? He groaned and shoved her away, stumbled back a step. Leia stood there watching him, smiled sweetly. Don't like that, do you? This Steve Perry doesn't know how to write Princess Leia.
Xizor, the hottest guy in the galaxy, got rejected hard. At least you'll always have Guri. But there's only one place you can go to rebound from that.